The more you know, the more you don't know. That's the whole point of this for me. Like, I talk with unlimited levels of conviction, but I also have incredible capacity to not want to convince people. This is the biggest issue in the world right now. Everyone's trying to convince people to see the world the way they see it. I have no interest in convincing anyone the way I see it. I'm just convicted about my perspective with the hope that it brings value to some people. And so, you know, I fully understand where you're coming from. But I couldn't agree more. Your point of outside versus inside. I don't even hear people when they say that thing. And I think, to your point, too many people are living for outside validation. But I actually think the people that are most successful oftentimes are either in extreme insecurity or extreme humility. It drives them, you know? Everything is hard.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be.
Life is like, I love this is a very interesting topic because I'm a buyer. I love America. I'm an entrepreneur. I love capitalism, but when things go too far, it's not good. Like, to your point, popular culture of what's good and what's successful. Like, I'm like such a buyer of like, what do we put out in culture, right? But I also think it goes both ways. Let me explain. So where you're going, I'm such a buyer of. If it's pounded in our face constantly, this is what success looks like, it's hard. On the flip side, we do things like give 8th place trophies to kids now because we think that's the right thing to do. Like, we're always as a society gonna get into places where we go too far left, too far right, which is why the first part matters, which is if you don't have the capacity to be humanly accountable to you. Here's a good example, back to fatherhood and kids. Your parents told you things, the world told you things. There are things that you decided to do differently.
Right.
The end. So just because the world's telling you a fucking Gucci belt is the right thing, well, I'm telling you it's not. So who are you gonna listen to? This person or that person? There is always a counter voice. And a lot of counter voices. There's unlimited people that tell you money's horrible. And corporations are horrible. To me, this is an important point. I think this is very big because I don't think there's right. I think there's right for you, and the more that we give the power away and blame parents, corporations, social media, this, that, and the other thing, the further we're getting away from the truth, which is we're capable. I believe in humans.
You just hit it though. That's my problem. My problem is you have to know that you are responsible. Listen, as somebody who's really deep into mental health.
Yes.
You are responsible for your own well-being. You really are. Nobody else is. You're responsible for your own happiness. If somebody else is making you unhappy, that's just how you are reacting. That person, you can't change that person.